Portions of central Texas are facing a renewed threat of flash flooding this Sunday morning, as torrential rain has led to the rapid rise of the Lampasas River. This comes as first responders across Texas Hill Country continue their desperate search for victims swept away during a deadly and historic flash flooding event just over a week ago during the 4th of July holiday weekend. Forecasters had warned that atmospheric conditions had once again aligned to produce heavy precipitation, and concerns about additional flash flooding were mounting. Some rainfall rates have already reached approximately 3 inches in an hour, with total accumulations of 8 to 10 inches of rain possible, and even higher amounts in localized areas. A flash flood emergency was issued for Saba County early this Sunday morning, where the Lampasas River at Adamsville saw an astonishing rise of about 14 feet in just 2 hours. There is also a flash flood emergency currently active for Colorado Bend State Park, where 6 to 8 inches of rainfall have already fallen this morning. Fox 7. Austin meteorologist Adali Rose stated on X that more rain is on the way, urging residents in southeastern Saba County with evacuation notices to move to higher ground. While that particular flash flood emergency for portions of Saba County has since been allowed to expire, flooding remains a significant concern. According to the Saba County Sheriff's Office, numerous roads have been closed due to flooding and high water. Residents have been repeatedly warned not to travel over flooded roadways, with the Sheriff's Office reiterating the crucial message, "Turn around, don't drown." Saba County Judge Jody Foley took to social media this Sunday morning, urgently advising people to seek higher ground. In a Facebook post, he implored, "If you are in an area that was previously affected or close to being affected last week, please make plans now to move to safety." A mandatory evacuation order was also issued for some areas that were hit by flooding last week. In another Facebook post, Judge Foley stated, "All homes that were damaged last Friday need to evacuate their homes in preparation of the river rising quickly throughout the day. Please do not be in this designated area after 1 p.m. Sunday." Properties that were close to being impacted by last week's flooding were placed under a recommended evacuation and told to prepare. Foley urged them to make plans to evacuate and pay close attention to all water levels. He anticipates closures of all major roads in and out of Saba by the end of the day, with the Sheriff's Office again stressing, "Turn around, don't drown." Adding to the closures, officials have announced that Colorado Bend State Park would be closed this Sunday due to the ongoing flooding, and Cherokee Creek was reported as impassable as of early Sunday morning. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Weather Prediction Center stated that most of Texas is at risk of seeing flash flooding this Sunday, with portions of central Texas placed in a level 3 out of 4 threat, indicating a significant risk. The forecast center noted that recent rain and thunderstorms have already saturated the ground in the region, making it even easier for flooding to occur. Computer forecast models had signaled that the most intense rain would likely fall before sunrise this Sunday, before the rain and thunderstorms shift to the east and southeast. With this setup, the forecast center warned that rivers and streams, including the Guadalupe River, could rise rapidly. The Lampasas River near Kempner, Texas, crested at 32.45 feet this Sunday morning, just under major flood stage. According to the National Weather Service, the Lampasas River was at 1.75 feet at 4 a.m. local time and surged to more than 32 feet by 9:15 a.m., where major flood stage at that location begins at 33 feet. Rain totals have been climbing all morning, with approximately 9.15 inches of rain falling in Saba, about 6.31 inches at Colorado Bend State Park, and Sonora picking up just under 5.5 inches. Additionally, both Killeen and Brady have received just under 5 inches of rain. In Kerr County, which was severely impacted by the historic and deadly flash flooding disaster over the 4th of July holiday weekend, officials sent out a code red alert warning residents of potentially dangerous conditions through Sunday morning. The sheriff's office cautioned that excessive rainfall could lead to additional flash flooding across the southern Edwards Plateau and hill country. Furthermore, rapid river rises are possible across the Rio Grande, southern Edwards Plateau, and hill country. Officials reiterated in the code red alert, if you live near water and it starts raining, get to higher ground. This is absolutely a punch to the gut for people here in Kerrville, Texas, reported weather correspondent Katie Burns, who was on the ground along the Guadalupe River, experiencing heavy downpours firsthand. Burns described cell phones blaring early Sunday morning, instructing people along the river to evacuate and move to higher ground. They are expecting the river to reach flood stage once again, just over a week after catastrophic flooding here claimed the lives of 129 people across the state of Texas, many of them young campers at Camp Mystic. The heavy rain and new wave of flooding in south-central Texas this Sunday have unfortunately hampered the grim search for survivors and victims of the flooding that swept through the region more than a week ago. All search and recovery operations along the Guadalupe River in Kerr County have been suspended. County officials stated in social media posts this Sunday that rescue personnel, equipment, and vehicles should be removed from the river area immediately. They further emphasized, volunteer operations are currently suspended until further notice. All self-deployed volunteers need to heed this warning as well for their safety. Safety of lives is the highest priority. The city of Kerrville posted video on social media showing water rushing across streets this Sunday. The National Weather Service warned that locally heavy rainfall of 2 to 4 inches, with isolated areas potentially overwhelmed by another 9 to 12 inches, could lead to flash flooding. A flood watch remains in effect until 7 p.m. local time Sunday. In Ingram, 6 miles east of Kerrville, the Ingram Fire Department issued a stern warning that now is not the time for residents to be trying to take videos or photos of the rising waters. The department cautioned in a social media post, "We are seeing the same weather pattern today that we experienced on July 4th, and we know how quickly that turned deadly." The Kempner Volunteer Fire Department closed several low water crossings and issued evacuation orders this Sunday morning due to hours of heavy rain. The Kempner Volunteer Fire Department informed 6 News that they evacuated 2 RV parks, and the Lampasas Police Department evacuated elderly residents living in apartments close to a creek. The department began posting road closures to its Facebook page before 6 a.m. Roads closed included County Road 3300 near the 3350 low water crossing, as well as County Roads 2313, 3384, and 3220. Highway 190 crosses over the Lampasas River at Kempner, and videos and pictures posted by the Kempner Volunteer Fire Department show the water was close to crossing over the bridge. Several areas along the Guadalupe River, including Kerr County, the region hardest hit by the devastating floods on July 4th, were under flash flood warnings this Sunday as a slow-moving storm system brought heavy precipitation. The National Weather Service reported early Sunday that the heaviest rain was in northern Llano and Burnett counties, but by mid-morning it had shifted to Kerr County. Still, forecasters said the rainfall this time around was not expected to be as extreme as it was on July 4th. In Kerrville, the county seat of Kerr County and the epicenter of the July 4th floods, a flash flood warning was in effect until 11:30 a.m. Central Time. City officials directed all search crews and volunteers in the Guadalupe River corridor, who were continuing to look for the approximately 170 people still missing from the July 4th floods, to evacuate. Meanwhile, according to Saba County officials, a mandatory evacuation has been ordered for any individuals or residences located south of the Saba River, east of Highway 16 and High Street, and north of Highway 190 and Wallace Street. The renewed risk of flooding is being driven by a weather system high in the atmosphere that is stalled between two high-pressure systems. It has remained parked over Texas, providing ideal conditions for thunderstorms to repeatedly develop. Another weak system in the area is adding to the instability and fueling the continued storm activity, especially on Sunday afternoon. Forecasters expected the storm system to stretch from the southwest to the northeast through the day, increasing the likelihood of additional rounds of thunderstorms. The flooding risk was expected to linger, with more rain forecast into early next week. "The rain is going to continue Sunday night into Monday," said Mr. Bermuda. "Then the chances for rain start to decrease, Monday into Tuesday with a dry forecast midweek to late week."
Had to get this Mexican out of bed. It's flooding down here.
A storm system brought a new round of dangerous flooding across north and central Texas this Sunday, leading to rescues and evacuations in multiple counties and suspending search efforts for victims of catastrophic floods that killed at least 129 people in the Hill Country a week ago. Governor Greg Abbott stated this Sunday afternoon that the state was conducting rescues in Saba, Lampasas, and Schleicher counties, with evacuations taking place in Lampasas, Menard, Kimball, and Sutton counties. "We are expanding operations in all affected counties, all while monitoring the rising waters in Kerrville," Abbott said in a post on X. Kerrville in Kerr County is where rescue and recovery operations have been focused since the 4th of July floods in the Hill Country. Dozens of Texans had been rescued from the Lampasas area by midday afternoon. Abbott confirmed that some rescues have also been made in Saba County. Emergency Management Coordinator Marcia Hardy said that police and volunteers spread out this morning to alert residents of both mandatory and recommended evacuation orders. Hardy stated that the evacuations have gone without issue, and she hopes the rest of the rain won't cause any more major problems so they can shift to recovery efforts. "It's now a matter once again of everybody working their way back home, probably tomorrow, and seeing what kind of damage they might have received," Hardy concluded. This Sunday afternoon, United States Representative August Pfluger, a Republican from Texas who represents Saba, posted, "Please take this seriously as the river is rising faster than it did on July 4th. Officials in Kendall and Menard counties told residents in some parts that evacuations are currently voluntary. Emergency crews in Kerr County suspended their search for victims of last week's flash floods this Sunday morning. The Ingram Fire Department ordered search crews to immediately evacuate the Guadalupe River corridor until further notice, warning that the potential for flash floods was high. Search and rescue efforts were expected to resume on Monday, depending on river flow, according to Fire Department spokesperson Brian Lochte. In a Facebook post, the department warned area residents to stay away from riverbeds and roads.
Yard is trash now. Trash for all of the residents.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration reported major floods at the Saba River at Saba, which reached 27 feet by 1:30 p.m. Sunday, and at the Lampasas River at Kempner, which reached 33 feet, approximately 4 to 5 feet up underneath the roof. Saba County Judge Jody Foley issued a mandatory evacuation order for some parts of the county as the National Weather Service forecast. And then the Saba River would crest higher than 31 feet by midnight. NOAA also reported moderate floods at the Leon River at Gatesville and Cowhouse Creek near Pidcoke in Coryell County, and at the Llano River near Junction in Kimball County. An alert from the Weather Service's Austin-San Antonio office, issued early Sunday, warned that the central Texas region is particularly susceptible to flooding as the soil remains near to saturation or at saturation levels from the July 4th storms. That weekend, the destructive, fast-moving waters rose 26 feet on the Guadalupe River in just 45 minutes before daybreak on July 4th. washing away homes and vehicles. Ever since, searchers have used helicopters, boats, and drones to look for victims and to rescue people stranded in trees and from camps isolated by washed-out roads. This summer, flash flooding driven by bursts of heavy rain has turned deadly elsewhere in Texas. In San Antonio, in June, more than 7 inches of rain fell over a span of hours, prompting dozens of rescues from the fast-rising floodwaters and killing at least 13 people. Meanwhile, the Waco Fire Department Swift Water Rescue Team successfully pulled a person from a large sport utility vehicle that was stuck in a low-water crossing on the Bosque River. The McGregor Fire Department posted a video of the rescue that happened at the crossing on Indian Trail. Fire responders from the McGregor Fire Department were called a little before 6:30 a.m. McGregor Police, McLennan County Sheriff's Office, and a Coryell Health ambulance also responded. After initially trying to pull the person to safety with a rope, the Swift Water Rescue Team got close enough to bring him in with a boat. This was the third rescue at that particular crossing in a month. On July 7th, McGregor firefighters pulled a man from his car and got him to safety using a rope. On June 12th, the Waco Fire Department rescued a man who had crawled from his vehicle across a ladder extended from a Waco fire truck. More heavy rains in Texas this Sunday paused a week-long search for victims of catastrophic flooding along the Guadalupe River and led to high water rescues elsewhere, as officials warned that the downpours could again cause waterways to surge. It was the first time a new round of severe weather had paused the search since the July 4th floods, which killed at least 129 people. Authorities believe more than 160 people may still be missing in Kerr County. In Kerrville, where local officials have come under scrutiny about the warnings given to residents, authorities went door-to-door to some homes after midnight early Sunday to alert people that flooding was again possible. Authorities also pushed alerts to the phones of those in the area. Ingram Fire Department officials ordered search crews to immediately evacuate the Guadalupe River corridor in Kerr County until further notice, warning that the potential for a flash flood is high. Search and rescue efforts were expected to resume on Monday, depending on river flow, Fire Department spokesman Brian Lochte said. "We're working with a few crews and airboats and search and rescue boats just in case," Lochte added. Governor Greg Abbott reiterated on X that the state was making rescues in Saba, Lampasas, and Schleicher counties, and that evacuations were taking place in a handful of others. The latest round of flooding has damaged about 100 homes and knocked down untold lengths of cattle fencing, according to Ashley Johnson, CEO of the Hill Country Community Action Association, a Saba-based nonprofit organization. "Anything you can imagine in a rural community was damaged," she said. "Our blessing is it was daylight and we knew it was coming." With more rain on the way, county officials ordered everyone living in flood-prone areas near the Saba River to evacuate. Johnson said people were being moved to the Saba Civic Center, which has become a safe, high place for people to receive aid and shelter. "Everyone is in some way personally affected by this," she said, adding that everyone is just doing what they can to help their neighbors. The weather system brought multiple rounds of heavy rains and slow-moving storms across a widespread area, pushing rivers and streams over their banks. Heading into the afternoon and evening, the heaviest rains were expected along the Interstate 35 corridor and east, said meteorologist Patricia Sanchez from the National Weather Service's Fort Worth office. A few spots might see up to 2 to 4 inches an hour, pretty much through the evening before the rain. The coverage of rain and the intensity of the rain slowly decreases, Sanchez explained. Forecasters warned that the Guadalupe River could rise to nearly 15 feet by Sunday afternoon, about 5 feet above flood stage, and enough to put the Highway 39 bridge underwater in Hunt, the small town where Camp Mystic is located along the river. Numerous secondary roads and bridges are flooded and very dangerous, a Weather Service warning stated. The rains were also causing other waterways to swell farther north in Texas, where emergency crews rescued one motorist who was left stranded in waist-high rapids on a submerged bridge over the Bosque River. The man leaned onto the vehicle for support as crews tried to reach him with life jackets. "He drove into it and didn't realize how deep it was," said Jeff Douglas, president of the McGregor Volunteer Fire Department. Luckily, he was able to stand next to the vehicle. In the West Texas city of Sonora, authorities called for evacuations of some neighborhoods due to rising floodwaters. In a video posted this Sunday afternoon on Facebook, Mayor Juanita Gomez said some water rescues had taken place, and a temporary shelter for residents had been opened in the city's civic center. Sonora is located about 110 miles, or 177 kilometers, northwest of Kerrville.